Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday. My name is Kelly Baltzell, and I'm the CEO and owner of Beyond Indigo Pets. Today we have Jerry Shevick back, and he is going to be talking about mementos for grieving. But Jerry, first of all, tell us about your company. Tell us about what you do, because some people may not have seen you when you were here before.
Oh, sure, absolutely. I run and own a company called Peaceful Pets Aquamation out of Los Angeles, California. And we were one of the first people to provide aquamation in the country, which is now, of course, a giant wave, running through the country for in so much as companies opening. We're a big proponent of that kind of environmental aftercare. And as well, what we're going to talk about today is kind of a progressive look at aftercare on how to affect your clients in really ways that other people don't do.
Totally. And just to help people understand, aftercare means after the pet has died. So the care that is given to the individual during the grieving process has been labeled aftercare, because also if people are into tattooing and piercing, that's also called aftercare. So we don't want to get them confused today, right?
And we supply quite a lot of people with ink, paw, and nose prints for tattoos. So it's a big thing, actually.
It is. I can imagine. I mean, it's just like, in the old days, putting mom on your bicep. You have your fur baby always close to you, always.
It's at least once a week we honor that request. So,
well, that's awesome. Well, let's talk about aftercare and the options, because we don't discuss grief. We don't discuss death and dying in this country, or very, very little. So we don't really socialize to this whole step and process in life, and therefore we don't really know what our choices are when this happens. And death also, when it happens, we're not at our best. We're not thinking our best, and we have just a ton of emotions that we are really struggling to work ourselves through, because again, we have no socialization in this area. So today we kind of want to help give people some knowledge ahead of time before that grief process happens, so that they can understand there are choices to memorialize their loved ones, and it is offered through their veterinary practice, who is in conjunction with people like you. So let's talk about memorialization. What options are there for pets, and how does that work?
Well, it really depends on the company, Kelly. I mean, it's what we learned, and slowly, and now we have a lot more experience with it, is that, mementos, just as you would expect, they're not to minimize it, but, it's very much like a souvenir. It's how people, process their memories and hold on to memories. And mementos are the exact same way. And with pets, it works completely the same. So, you have to first identify, what people are really wanting to, what they really like. So we started to, experiment with that. And really, in a simple way, is that what we thought were elegant were just to take, instead of, that traditional clay paw print, which some people do, is that we added ink prints, so that we do ink and nose and paw prints, and we do them on watercolor paper, and they're framed. And so they really look like a finished product, and they're really beautiful. And so that's how we started. And the response was so huge that then we started to take a look at other different things that we could do, and how could we engrave those images on different products, to be meaningful to people. So, actually here I have one.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. The nose version's even cuter.
So how do you get the paw? Is that a clay imprint, or is that a scan?
No, what we do is we scan it, convert it to a black and white image, in the computer, and then we laser engrave it directly onto whatever product, we're featuring. So it's a little bit, labor intensive, but the outcome's really terrific. And we try to keep everything priced, in an affordable, way, so everybody has access to it.
So people then have lots of choices once the image is digitalized, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, they have quite a few choices. I mean, whether it's, what do? We have wine glasses, votive candle holders, keychains, obviously coffee mugs in a couple different colors. It's really, it's almost endless what you can do. It sort of just depends on, the capability of your engraver. But, oh, and actually we just started these, which have become really popular, is we take actually a photo and engrave it on this. We have these bamboo boxes made for us because we just wanted something a little bit more elegant, a little bit more contemporary than sort of that traditional, clunky cedar box. And also, bamboo is a sustainable material. So we take photos and then engrave those directly onto the box, which have become a big hit too. So
the pet owner just brings the photo into you, basically?
Just emails it to us.
Just emails it to you, and then you guys scan it and digitalize it from there.
Yeah.
Now, I know, too, there's options for the remains. Because, again, a lot of people don't understand the whole remains process. Like with cremation and even aquamation, which, is like you explained last time, if people want to know, they can go back and watch the earlier episode about that. And maybe we'll put a link to that episode in the comments here. But you do gain something back. And there are options for that. Like you just showed, the box is one. But like we were talking about before we went on air, glass, right? That there's an option for that.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing, it's a good question, actually, to sort of reiterate. Ash is a misnomer regardless in cremation or aquamation. It's not ash that you're receiving back. You're receiving back bone. And in either method, that bone gets pulverized. So it's a little bit more, it's more easily viewed, more easily packed. With aquamation, that material is more sand-like. So it actually, I mean, in our tests, we found that the clients respond, in a much calmer kind of way to that, just because it's a little bit more peaceful than that kind of grisly, chunky stuff that you get from, cremation. So then what happens is we do several different things now. We found an artist who does, blown glass pendants, which are really, really lovely. So we just, ship him a little bit of remains, and he does that and then ships directly to the client. We've seen jewelry like urn pendants, like little cylinders that you can put a little bit of remains in, or silver hearts. Just an array of jewelry now that over the last probably 18 months, we've seen a huge uptick in popularity, for those kind of things. So, whether you want your pet with you all the time and you want to wear them, or you want to put them in a different kind of urn, we do quite a fair amount of different urns, from our website too, that people, prefer. And that's really from bottom to top, from low price to high price to style. I mean, it's doesn't seem to have any kind of, just like you would think of any consumer product, it's really on personal taste. So, but yeah, we're finding that people really, really are interested in this kind of, extending that, that feeling into mementos and stuff to remember their pets by. It's become quite a big deal now.
That's pretty cool, though, because that just means people are getting more educated. They're knowing that they have options, that they do want that to memorialize Fluffy. That does have value and meaning to them during the grief process, and then also years later in life, just remembering and honoring all the love that animal gave them and their family.
I think it's absolutely true. I mean, if you think about just, you or I doing the same thing, I mean, it's nothing, I don't view this as, something over the top that people are going to say, oh, it's a crazy pet person. It's like, no, actually, having my keychain with my, dog's paw print on it, is cool. It's fun. It's, it reminds me of them when they're gone. So I think there really is a lot of value, in that. And also, in our digital world, we hold on to the copies of these. So, if they lose something and they want it replaced, or their dog eats it, which we have had happen like 6 times now, that we can, actually replace, the items that they break, whatever.
Yeah, so it's not like they're losing another loss down the road because that's only the one item that they have of Fluffy. That print or that nose print. Like, that has to give a sense of confidence or security to the individual that they don't have to know that if it's lost, then that one more connection to their loved fur baby is gone, because that does happen in grief. So
yeah, it does. And, you know, we're one of the few companies that actually provide a free engraved paw print with the package. Most people charge extra for that. And we started with clay, and then we moved over to these bamboo paw prints, which are laser engraved. And I thought there was going to be some pushback just because, you know, clay is, you know, has been the traditional, you know, the traditional method of that paw print for so long. No blowback. And for exactly what you just said, it's people like, oh my God, you know, if it breaks, then, you know, what am I going to do? And people, even though, you know, it happens rarely, just the idea that it is in a repository, it's safe, they can get at it at any time, is really, really, you know, helpful to them, you know, that we've been finding. So yeah, you're dead on with that.
Yeah, it's just comforting, right? Because you do, grief is funny that way. There's attachments that are bridges to last times of memories. And so, you know, those become triggers. So you just don't want to go there. So you're providing peace of mind. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say the one other thing for, you know, for veterinarians or, you know, hospitals that, you know, that happen to tune in and watch is, you know, the one thing is I find that mementos work in two different ways. One obviously is exactly the way we're talking about, which is, you know, it really helps people through the process, and you want to be kind. I mean, that's why we're all in this business, is to help people and animals, you know, through these things, you know, dead or alive. I mean, you know, that's what we want to do. You know, the other thing is just a practical aspect of, you know, you're a marketing company. This, you know, what we believe in is that, you know, with euthanasia / aftercare being, you know, statistically the #1 most influential, impactful moment that a client has with a hospital, is that, you know, mementos are just one other way, you know, one other tool, you know, in the toolbox on how to extend, you know, your brand. What we find is if you went to our social media pages, you'll find people who are posting, you know, pictures of what we've done for them, because it is so impactful. People come back to us because they want something, you know, to match another pet that they've had. And you can imagine when somebody, I mean, you know, when we go in and show hospitals, you know, all the stuff we're doing, all you get is oohs and ahs. And that's the reaction that you want. It's like, oh my God, that's cute. Well, guess what happens when your client goes out and they're showing their, you know, they're showing their bug to their friend. All of a sudden, you know, they get the same thing. Where'd you get that? So, I mean, it works, you know, on a practical level is, you know, as well as an emotional level. So, you know, I think it's important to remember that there's a real reason, you know, to work on the client experience.
It does. When you work on the end of life process with a pet parent and you do it right, they will remember it forever.
Yeah.
If you do it wrong, or there's a hiccup in there, or something's, you know, because we're humans, so some days are just not going to be our best days, right? It doesn't mean our intent is wrong. It's just sometimes what will go wrong will go wrong. The pet parent will remember that as well, you know, for better or for worse, because of that humongous emotional imprint, it sticks pretty hard.
Well, the president of the Veterinary Association out here once told me that the industry stat is that 20% of clients do not return to the hospital where their animal was put down. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge number.
It's painful. That's why the hospital's a trigger for their grief, and they just.
Well, but the hospitals that really work on it can take that down to zero. And you know, and we can talk about that on, you know, on another day. There's a ton of different stuff that actually can turn that moment into something really positive and really bonding, you know, with your client.
And that's the part of doing it right.
Right. Exactly.
That falls in the do it the right way bucket. Well, let's leave it there for another session on how to make that, you know, a win for the pet owner and the hospital for another time with Facebook Live. But today we got the mementos down. And if people are curious about them, they can go to your website and they can see some things underneath the catalog section, right?
That's right. Yeah, under the catalog section, and everything we do is there.
Okay, so we'll put some information on that, and people can see options and just get educated. And I actually encourage everybody who has a pet to do so before the time of need. While you're clear-headed and your emotions aren't all churned up over grief, go and learn about this now, and just get ready to have it. So the domain name is up, peacefulpetaquamation.com. Check it out. And Jerry, thank you so much for coming today.
Thanks, Kelly. Always a pleasure.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.